Hello everyone, this is Evan, and today guys, I have a tournament report for you guys. I played a challenge as well as two different cups that I'm going to be going over today. And I know that some of these tournaments were a while ago, like this challenge was 11 days ago. So I do apologize it's taken this long to actually get to making this video. I was actually just now out of town for an entire week, so this is the first chance I've had to actually get on my computer and record this tournament report. But here's the list I played. I played this for the first challenge and the first cup, this exact 60, and then I changed one card for the last cup, which I will get to in a minute. But it's just a pretty standard Charizard list with a few notable inclusions. If you want to see me break down the deck more in depth, just check out my Charizard Masterclass, and I go over like every single card in that class. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and start off with the challenge on July the 14th. So this challenge was like 35 people or something. It was like at least 30, and they actually hit the cap and had to turn several people away. And it was the biggest challenge I had ever been to before, which definitely does make sense because I usually have to drive a little ways. Like this was like an hour drive for me. I have to drive kind of far for these cups and challenges because there's really no stores near me, so I have to kind of drive to a more populated area that has a lot of really good players in it to actually get my points. So it definitely does make sense since it was at the start of the season that so many people showed up, especially in this area. And also, since there's so many good players, like I'd say there's at least 10, 15 players, probably even more, who are like day 2 caliber players. A lot of them are even fighting for those, cash finishes at the regionals and whatnot. So there's definitely a lot of very talented players in my area, which is why it is very difficult to actually get the wins for these challenges and cups most of the time. But yeah, enough of me just rambling. I'm going to go ahead and get into the matches. Round 1, I hit a Raging Bolt. This matchup is pretty close. If I can actually set up, I think this matchup is definitely favored. However, sometimes they can just go like turn 2 Judge plus 1 Prize Bolt, snipe the Pidgey, and I can't really set up after that. So this game, I actually prized both of my Pidgeys, so I could never set up Pidgeot in the early game. Yeah, so I was just kind of evolving Charizards and hoping to just roll draw into everything I needed. Also, I kind of drew a rough hand off of the wait, I don't actually think he played a Judge this game. So I kind of just had like a rough hand at the start, I guess. So I actually got behind by 2 prize cards just because I whiffed an attack. So normally that is a bad situation to be in. However, I was able to win the game by just spamming Ionos, and eventually he whiffed an attack, which allowed me to make a comeback. Also, off of the first knockout I took, I drew a Pidgey, so I was able to at least set up the Pidgeot for like 1 or 2 turns at the very end of the game. And it did help me find the pieces I need for those specific turns. So yeah, I ended up getting the win, but it was a very, very close one, and it just came down to my opponent not finding what he needs off of the Ionos. Round 2, I hit a Dragapult Dusknoir, and this game I actually prized both of my Pidgeots, so another game where I am not going to be getting Pidgeot online very early. And this matchup is slightly unfavored, but lucky for me, my opponent basically just full bricked, which, yeah, it was kind of unfortunate for him, but I got the win. Like, he basically just benched a lot of Pokemon on his first turn, and then just went draw pass until I knocked them all out, essentially. So, very unfortunate brick for my opponent, and that's kind of the issue with the Dragapult Dusknoir deck. The deck is kind of a pile at some points. It just sometimes doesn't even really set up, but when it does set up, this matchup is definitely a slightly unfavored for me. Round 3, I hit a Gardevoir, and this is a game that I definitely should have won had I played around a specific card. So I had like the most broken setup at the very beginning of the game. On turn 2, I went Rare Candy Pidgeot, Rare Candy Charizard, and then I bossed his only Kirlia, and he had no routes, no Gardevoirs in play. and I knocked it out. And then he played Devo, and I basically just bricked for like the next 5 turns. I could never really find the pieces to actually get my Pidgeot and my Charizard set up again. However, the turn that I went super aggressive at the beginning of the game, I had Mist Energy in hand, so if I had attached that to my Charizard, I probably would have just won, but I didn't actually expect the TM Devo. My line of thinking was he had no Munkidori in play, so there was no way he could Mind Bend this next turn. So I didn't think it was necessary to put the Mist in play, and I thought I might as well just save it for a different turn where he actually can Mind Bend, but then I ended up getting cooked by the Devo, so that's on me. I should have played around Devo, but I ended up losing. Round 4, I hit a straight Dragapult. At this point, I'm no longer playing for points, really, because I can't win the challenge, so it's just like a pack per win. This one was an interesting game. I was also one of the better players for my locals, and he played very well, but it came down to I had 1 prize card, and he had 2, and I had 3 prize cards, and he had 2, so I Iono'd him, took out his only Dragapults, and he had no Dragapults or Dracloaks or Dreepies in play at this point, so he cannot attack this next turn with a Dragapult. And I have 1 prize card, he has 2, so his win con is to find Stretcher Blood Moon and then boss my Fez, and win that way. And off of the Iono, he found Counter Catcher, but he didn't find Night Stretcher, so he ended up just having to Counter Catcher my Fez and start using Badoo, and just hoping that I don't find any way to actually retreat the Fez. And I had a relatively big hand at this point. I had like 3 prize cards plus my 2 from the prize cards, so 5 in my hand plus my top deck, so I had 6 in hand. And also at this point, Pidgeot was dead, so Quick Search was not an option. But I actually had no out to finding a way to get out of the Fez, so I end up just going like Draw Pass for multiple turns, and he's just going Draw Igipalin. So it ends up just being kind of a race to see who finds their piece to win the game first. He's looking for Stretcher, I'm looking for a way to get Fez out of the active spot, and then eventually time is called, and on the very last turn of time, I finally top deck the Turo, so I won on the top deck there. And honestly, if we had tied, I was thinking about just scooping to him, because, I mean, it doesn't really matter. At this point, it's just like a pack per win, and if we tie, no one gets the pack, so might as well just at least let one of us get there. But I ended up winning, so I'm 3-1. And then round 5, I hit Ceruledge. Not really sure what to say about this matchup. It's just a favored matchup overall, and I just won the prize trade. So I'm 4-1. I got like top 4, which, I mean, definitely not great, because in terms of like getting the Worlds invite, these top 4s, they don't really mean much of anything, because I'm going to need to replace them at some point anyways, because ideally you want to get 4 challenge wins, 4 cup wins. But anyways, onto the cup on July the 18th. So this was a cup that was on a Friday at noon, so I actually drove like an hour and a half to this cup, and I was expecting it to be an easy win, because it's on a Friday at noon, so like no one's gonna be there, right? I was expecting everyone to be at like work or something, so I thought it would just be like an easy win, not too many people showing up. But then when I got there, there were like 46 people, so I guess no one really had to go to work or something. I don't know, but yeah, I ended up just yeah, I was kind of surprised by how many people showed up. But anyways, 46 players, there's 6 Swiss rounds, and then top 8 cut. Round 1, I hit a straight Dragapult, and like I said earlier, this matchup is favored if I can set up. Unfortunately, I went first, and I played a Poffin, but that was basically the only playable card I had in my hand after he started using Igipalin, so I just went like Draw Pass for 3 turns. Finally, he Iono'd me because he needed a new hand himself, and I was able to kind of set up. he knocked out my Pidgey, so I was never able to get a Pidgeot online. But then the game came down to, I had 4 prize cards, and he had like 3. So he Iono'd me, and he took 2 prize cards here. And at this point, my hand off of the Iono is Rare Candy and then like 3 other useless Pokemon. So my only Pokemon I have left on my board is the Charmander that he left after knocking out my other Charmander and like a Pidgey or something. So he has 1 prize card, I have 4, and this Charmander is the only Pokemon I have left. If I top deck any out to Charizard, I can go Candy Charizard, and that's just an unlosable board state for me because I just knock out his Dragapult to go down to 2 prize cards, and he has to knock out my Charizard, but if he ever attacks with either Dragapult or Blood Moon, I just knock it out immediately. So if I can top deck any out to Charizard, I just win on the spot. But I top decked another dead card, so I have a completely dead hand at this point, and I lost. So I just drew really bad this game, to be honest. Like, I hate to blame it all on luck, but I think some games like this one, like, there was just nothing I could really do, unfortunately. Like, I think I made all the right choices, when it came to, you know, like, not making misplays or anything, but sometimes you just don't draw well, and that's what happened to me. So I lost round 1, unfortunately. Round 2, I got the bye, which actually really helped me out a lot later, which I will get to in a minute. Round 3, I hit an interesting deck. It was like a grass toolbox type of deck. It played like Yanmega EX, Hydrapple, and I think it also played some other grass attackers as well. It had like some Teal Mask Ogerpons, probably like some other attackers, not really sure. But the deck was definitely interesting, but my opponent bricked, so I just won. Round 4, I hit an Archaludon. It was like the build Azul was playing on stream a few weeks ago, with like the Team Rockets bombs, Team Rockets Watchtower, stuff like that. So I was expecting this matchup to actually be kind of rough. However, when I looked at my opening hand, I was like, okay, yeah, I'm cooked. Like, I fully bricked. I basically had like no playable cards in my hand. I didn't see a single Charmander for like 5 turns. So luckily my opponent also didn't have the best setup turn 1. But then on turn 2, he was able to actually get going. And yeah, I actually, I can't remember exactly what I needed, but I needed, like, I was able to eventually kind of set up. I got, like, a Charizard online, a Pidgeot, and, yeah, I needed, like, several pieces to actually take the knockout, but I was never able to actually find all the cards at the same time. So I ended up just going for a play where I counted up his resources. He had, like, quite a few energies on board, a lot of them in the discard. He already had a stretcher discarded. So my best line of play here was to just start trapping stuff and hoping to stick something in the active spot for enough turns. So I ended up just like gust spamming this Iron Bundle, and eventually he was able to retreat out of the Iron Bundle, take a knockout. So he had 1 prize card. I still had like 5 or something, 4 or 5. I took a knockout at some point in the game, but I didn't have a good enough setup to actually sustain taking those knockouts. So yeah, I still just had like, the only hope was to just like gust something and hope for the best, pretty much. So he had like 1 prize card, and I ended up just counter-capturing Iron Bundle and playing Iono, and then I just passed with Charizard in the active spot. So he needs to find energy plus a Boss's Orders to win, or he has another win con, which I will explain in a minute. But yeah, since I have Charizard in the active spot and Pidgeot on the bench, he needs energy plus Boss, because if he just uses Bundle, I just promote the Pidgeot, so he just can't take a knockout there. However, I had Cleffa on my bench, and he had 20 damage on his benched Archaludon. So he also had Monkey in play, so we were just like monkeying that damage back and forth. However, at one point he top decked Research and found his last Team Rockets bomb. So if he hits heads here, he wins the game because he puts 20 on my Cleffa, Monkey's 20, and he wins. However, he flipped tails, which was very lucky for me, because now I actually just, yeah, now I don't have to worry about that win condition. So he never could really find what he needed, and then time was called, and he still was bricked, so we ended up tying. Feels kind of bad to finish the game like that, because had we had more turns, I definitely was not winning that one. But, you know, at least I took the tie here, which keeps me in the tournament. I just need to win these next two. Round 5, I got down paired against a 2-2 Zoroark player, and my opponent was just trying to help me out with the, the points, so he scooped to me, which was very nice of him. And then round 6, yeah, so going into round 6, the top tables were analyzing the pairings, and we were all trying to figure out, well, they were trying to figure out if it was safe for them to ID. I was trying to figure out if I still had a chance at making top cut, and we realized that one person, if I win my match, 1-4-1-1 will actually bubble out, and then if I win the match, and the Archelodon player, who was also 3-1-1 at this point, if he also wins his match, 2 people bubble out. So at this point, I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm probably cooked here, because, I mean, even if I win, I also forgot to mention, this was a down pair as well, so it was 3-2. I got down paired twice. So I'm like, yeah, I'm probably not making it into top cut, because I lost round 1, which is very bad, and then I got down paired twice. So my resistance is probably pretty bad. So I ended up just winning the match. My opponent made some misplays, which just gave me some routes to win. But then when the top cut standings go up, I was somehow 6th seed. I was the second highest 4-1-1 somehow, and there were like 4 people with worse resistance than me, which was crazy, but it ended up being because of the round 2 bye, which really helped a lot. So the bye definitely saved me there. But anyways, in top 8, I hit a Zoroark Darmanitan. Pretty favored matchup if I can set up and play around Devo. The one thing that was kind of scary was game 1. My hand was pretty bad, and the only way I could actually set up was if I retreated the Mist Energy in my hand to get into Cleffa. So I didn't have Mist Energy at all that game, which was kind of scary, but I ended up still winning just by having enough Pidgeotos and Charmeleons in play. And then game 2, I was able to actually keep my Mist Energy, and yeah, I just won. Like in this matchup, if you get 2 Charizards, one of them with Mist Energy, and then Pidgeot online, like there's no way you can lose this matchup, essentially. So I won. Top 4, I hit a Raging Volt, no Noctowls, just the Turbo build. Game 1, I was just able to price trade my opponent. Game 2, I hard through. Yeah, so I thought that my opponent had taken 1 prize card, and he had not taken any. So I had the boss in hand, so I ended up just going like Candy Pidgeot, Candy Zard, and then I'm like, oh shoot, he hasn't taken a prize card yet. So I can't knock out any of his 210 HP Pokemon. So I just pass at this point, and then as soon as I pass, I'm like, oh no, I'm such an idiot. He had Latias in play, which is weak to Dark, so I could have just knocked that out. So I like threw twice back to back there. Luckily, my opponent did not have a Gust in hand, so I just won the next. So I was just able to take the knockout the next turn. But I definitely did not deserve to win that one, I think, because I threw very hard there. And in round 9, I hit a Gardevoir. It was like the same build that I played at the challenge, with like no Drifloons, but with Devo, so I already knew to play around Devo. Game 1, I just, I never actually found Mist Energy. I could never actually find it, because there was always another card. I always had like some other card that I had to quick search for, so my Mist Energy just never came up, and I got Devoed. Game 2, I praised Mist Energy, and I also like threw very hard, because there was another turn where I needed to get a Charizard set up, and I accidentally evolved the Charizard before playing Super Red, so I didn't have enough energies. So I threw pretty hard that second game. I was still not in a great position to win, but I would have at least had a chance. But, you know, I guess it just happens sometimes. I got second, which feels kind of bad because, I mean, the thing about these locals is you pretty much have to max out challenges and cups with 4 wins for each of them. Which, I mean, second out of a 46-player cup seems pretty good, but, like, it's pretty irrelevant because you need to replace it anyways, so, I don't know, it's just, like, I don't know if they have, like, any good solution for that, but it's just kind of, you know, just unfortunate that, like, second isn't really that valuable. And then, for the last cup, yeah, I was actually in Florida for a week, so while I was there, I decided I was gonna find a cup and play, because, yeah, I just thought I might as well, since I'm there anyways. So I was thinking about playing like a meta call, like Crystal or something, but I decided to just play it safe and play Charizard because I have no clue what the locals will be playing. And then I got there, and there's 9 people there, so it's not a very big cup at all, especially compared to the 46 players at this cup, and then like over 100 at the cup a few weeks ago. So 9 players is, I'm not expecting it to be too difficult. But I actually won because, like, not to talk bad about anyone, but the judge didn't exactly know all the rules, which ended up costing me in the end. So we're just gonna get into it. So it's a 9-player cup, 4 Swiss rounds, and top 4 cut. Round 1, I hit a Gardevoir. It was a newer player, and he also kind of bricked, so I just won game 1. Game 2, I hit my dad. He was playing Gholdengo. Like I've mentioned before, he also likes to play in the cups as well. He's been playing Gholdengo a lot lately, and I just won this match. I did make a misplay, but I didn't get punished for it. Just because this matchup is super favored. Chi-Yu just wins the prize trade. Round 3, this is a win in here. It was Dragapult Dusknoir, and my opponent bricked again. So, yeah. So, kind of just, none of the matches here felt like that close just because one of them's like a super good matchup, and then 2 of them my opponent's bricked. So, round 4, I hit a Grimmsnarl Frostlass, and my opponent's 2-1, so he needs to play it out anyways for top cut. And I don't really care too much, if I win, lose, tie, whatever, because I'm in top cut no matter what. But, we played it out, and it came down to, I had a pretty rough start at the beginning. Like, I think this matchup's okay if I can set up, but I had a rough start, and then it came down to my opponent needs to attack with Blood Moon for game. He has like 5 in deck, top deck's 1 card, it's not Blood Moon, so he has to Iono himself to 2. If he finds Blood Moon off of the 2, he wins. If he doesn't find it, I win. So it's a 50-50 chance, and he found the Blood Moon. So, he won that one. So yeah, I'm 3-1 at this point. I go into top cut at 4th seed, which was surprising because, I mean, I started 3-0, and then I lost, so I was 3-1, and I'm 4th seed, and of course everyone else in the top cut is also 4th seed, or not 4th seed, sorry, everyone else is 3-1, so it's 3-1, 3-1, 3-1, 3-1. So, round 5, I hit my dad again. He was the 1st seed, also at 3-1, and his 1 loss in the Swiss rounds was me. And he actually just scooped me because, I mean, he's not chasing after points, so yeah, it was a very favored matchup for me anyways, but he scooped to me. Also, something else I forgot to mention was that, this is where it kind of comes in, this is where the judge not knowing the rules kind of comes into play, because it's I'm fairly certain it is a requirement for Top Cut to be best of 3, but the judge says that it's up to him, and he's doing best of 1 Top Cut, which I had never played a cup before with a best of 1 Top Cut, but that's what the judge said, and I'm pretty sure that is not legal, but he said that's what we're doing anyways, and, you know, it was kind of frustrating because, I mean, it should be best of 3, and also he said, like, pretty much everyone in the top 4 either didn't care or they wanted it to be best of 3. Like, 3 of us wanted a best of 3, and then the other guy just didn't care. He was down with whatever. So we very well could have done a best of 3, but the judge said that it would be unfair to go back on his word because he announced at the start of the tournament that it was best of 1 the whole tournament. So it would be unfair to the other people who didn't make Top Cut. But, like, I was wondering, like, how is that relevant? Because the people who didn't make Top Cut, like, they probably don't care because they're not playing Top Cut anyways. So, like, if everyone wanted to do best of 3, why couldn't we? But, you know, it's just whatever. It's best of 1 Top Cut, so I got the win in top 4. And then in the finals, it was a Ho-Oh Armor Rogue deck, which was kind of a bad matchup, but my opponent kind of got lucky in the best of 1 Top Cut because he Durant milled my very last rare candy, and I had like a 20 card deck, and he benched the Durant, discarded the top card. It was my last rare candy, so I could never get another Charizard in play. And yeah, that's what lost me the game. Yeah, I made like a slight misplay as well, but at the end of the day it wouldn't have mattered because I could never get another Charizard in play, because yeah, he just used Fez, the Fez attack to snipe my 1 Charmeleon. I had no Charmeleons in play, so I basically just had no way to win. So it was very, to be honest, it was very frustrating to lose that way, because if it was a best of 3, I could have just won the next 2 rounds, and getting unlucky in the finals wouldn't have mattered as much if I could just win the next 2. But I ended up losing just because the judge didn't really know the rules. And it was kind of a scuffed cup in general. Like, at the start of the cup, 2 juniors showed up, and the judge turned them away and said, you know, like, he was like, there's not enough juniors for you guys to play, sorry, I can't fire the cup. But, like, that's not how it works. They would just have to play the Masters, and whoever has the higher score between the juniors obviously gets the win. So that was, so, like, right off the bat, I kind of knew that the judge was maybe newer to running cups. And also, he did a deck check for everyone at the very beginning of the tournament, and someone still was allowed to play with black and white cards for pretty much the entire, all of the Swiss rounds. And I kind of caught the mistake in like round 1, and I just told him, hey, those cards aren't legal. He was playing with like air balloons, and I was just like, hey, those cards are not legal. And he's like, oh yeah, they are, the judge said I can play with them. So yeah, in like the 4th Swiss round, my opponent, which was the Ho-Oh player, he was playing against the guy with the air balloons and called the judge. So then he got the penalty and was required to have a game loss. But, like, you know, it was, I don't know, the cup was just kind of scuffed overall. Just, like, kind of a lot of bad calls. But I ended up getting 2nd, which is, you know, definitely not the best. But yeah, I have like 2 seconds at this point in cups, so I think I have like over 100 points. I think I'm ranked somewhere on the leaderboard, but yeah, I have like no challenge first places or second places, so still kind of a rough start to the season, to be honest. But, you know, I'm playing another cup in 2 days, so I'll let you guys know how that goes. Alright, like and subscribe. I'll see you.